scariest part of parenting isn't the sleepless nights, but the chilling things your kids start to say or do. Get ready for stories that will stay with you long after this video ends. Have you ever experienced something like this? Let us know in the comments. Welcome back to Epic Narratives, where we explore the eerie, unsettling, and downright terrifying. Today, we're diving into 5 chilling parenting stories, submitted by real viewers, each with its own eerie twist. From unexplained whispers to terrifying warnings, these tales will leave you questioning what's really lurking behind closed doors. Ready to be spooked? Let's get started. It was a typical evening at the Williams household. Quiet, except for the low hum of the television and the occasional creak of the old house settling. But when little Emily, barely 5 years old, began talking about her friend in the corner of her room, a chill ran down her parents' spines. At first, they dismissed it as the innocence of childhood imagination. But as Emily described this friend with unnerving clarity, the clothes, the voice, even the way it moved, something didn't sit right with them. The worst part? The friend had been dead for over a century. Her parents, trying to stay rational, assumed it was just a phase, a figment of her imagination. But Emily's descriptions grew more specific, as if she were talking about someone who had been part of their family for years. Late one night, her mother went to check on her, but the room was eerily still. The only sound was Emily's soft voice, directed at the corner of the room. She wasn't just talking to anyone. She was having a conversation with the empty space. "One night," Emily screamed, waking her parents from their sleep. Rushing to her room, they flung open the door, only to find her standing in the corner, eyes wide open, speaking in a low voice to the unseen presence. The air was thick with tension, but when they stepped inside, there was no one there. It wasn't until months later, after they moved out, that the dark truth was uncovered. The house had once belonged to a long-forgotten family. In the attic, buried deep in old family records, they found a faded photograph. A child, the same age as Emily, who had mysteriously disappeared from the house many years before. And what made their blood run cold was the name on the back of the photo. The friend Emily spoke to. What do you think? Was Emily's friend an innocent playmate? Or something darker? Something that has been waiting for decades? Could it be that children see things we cannot? Let us know your thoughts and share your own experiences in the comments. But that's not the only eerie encounter our viewers have experienced. Let's dive into the next story. One that will make you rethink leaving your child alone for even a second. Samantha and David, first-time parents, were adjusting to their new life with their newborn, Lily. It was a peaceful evening. Just the soft hum of a nearby lamp and the crackling of the fireplace. But as they sat in their living room, a soft whisper cut through the stillness, almost inaudible, coming from their baby's crib. At first, they thought it was just the wind or their imagination, but the whisper continued, clearer now. "Mommy, Daddy." It was so distinct they both froze, listening in disbelief. But their baby? Too young to talk, let alone speak their names. Confused and shaken, Samantha tiptoed into the nursery to check on her daughter. Lily was fast asleep, her tiny chest rising and falling peacefully. But the whisper persisted. "Mommy, Daddy." The voice was unmistakable, too clear to be anything but human. Both Samantha and David heard it distinctly, yet their baby lay in silence, completely unaware. Panic crept in. How could this be? They were alone in the house, or so they thought. Disturbed, Samantha and David decided to set up a camera in the nursery to record the next night, hoping to catch an explanation for the strange occurrences. What the camera captured left them horrified. In the dim light, a shadowy figure appeared beside the crib, moving slowly, as if it was floating. The figure whispered the same words, "Mommy, Daddy." But the voice was far too mature, deep and chilling to belong to their infant. The figure seemed to watch over Lily, hovering, as if guarding her. And then it vanished, leaving the room in unnerving silence. The next morning, still reeling from the footage, Samantha went up to the attic to search for anything that might explain the haunting presence. As she rifled through old boxes of forgotten memories, she stumbled upon a family photo. In the picture, dated long before Lily was born, stood a woman beside her mother. The woman's face matched the figure from the footage. The same eerie expression, the same eerie presence. A sense of dread gripped Samantha's heart as she realized the person who had been watching over her baby wasn't a stranger. It was someone from her family's past. What could this mean? Was it a ghost trying to communicate with them? Or was something else at play? Is there a deeper connection between their family and this figure? Let us know your theories in the comments. Could it be a warning, or something darker waiting to emerge? And the chilling tales don't stop there. This next story will make you question how well you know your own child. For the Thompsons, their 3-year-old son Jake had always been a quiet, well-behaved child. But one day, without warning, he began saying strange things. Words that didn't make sense. It started with small, harmless statements like, "Don't go in the attic, Mommy." At first, his parents thought it was just a quirky phase, but then it escalated. "Don't go to the park, Daddy, you'll get hurt." Jake's warnings grew more specific, and with each one, an unease began to settle in. Was this just childish imagination or something more? At first, they laughed it off, dismissing it as innocent nonsense. But when Jake began to warn his father specifically about everyday events, like a trip to the park, the warnings began to feel eerily real. It wasn't until that afternoon when Jake's father went to the park that things took a chilling turn. As he was walking, he slipped on a patch of ice and fell badly, injuring his ankle. When Jake's father came home, he was still shaken. "How did you know that would happen?" he asked Jake. Without hesitation, Jake looked up with wide eyes and whispered, "The man in the attic told me." Disturbed and frightened, the Thompsons decided to investigate. They climbed into the attic, expecting to find nothing more than dust and cobwebs. But what they found was far more unsettling. In the corner of the attic was an old, worn journal. The pages were yellowed with age, but what they read inside made their blood run cold. The journal chronicled strange happenings in the house, written by a previous family who had lived there. The most chilling part? The journal detailed how their child had experienced similar warnings. Warnings that seemed to come from an unseen presence. An entity that had been lurking in the attic for decades, communicating through the children. As the Thompsons read further, they found one final entry. The previous family had described the same warnings, the same strange occurrences, but there was one line that sent a shiver down their spines. "We thought it was just our child's imagination, until we realized the man in the attic wasn't just a ghost. He was watching, waiting, and now he wants our child." What could this mean? Was Jake's warning simply a coincidence, or was something far darker at play? The man in the attic, what does he want? And is he still watching them? Let us know your thoughts. Could this unseen entity be trying to communicate something? Or is it something far more sinister? These stories might seem unbelievable, but they are real experiences shared by viewers just like you. Parenting is challenging enough, but when the unexplainable creeps into your life, it leaves you questioning everything you thought you knew. Could there be something watching over us, guiding us, or even warning us? Do you have a chilling tale of your own? Share it in the comments, and it could be featured in our next video. If you're brave enough, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because you never know what terrifying tale will be waiting for you next.